Good morning.
It is. We've enjoyed this interaction. And
Yeah. It is a hot seat, by the way. Yes, Abraham. I'm here to learn how to open up to the universe and let things flow to me. In my business, I've got a responsibility to raise money for land investments, and I'm trying to figure out how to meet the right people to allow myself to do that for my company.
We liked every word that you said, and we're going to help you to understand what's going on in your vibration that prompted those words that is in your way, and what's going on in your vibration that prompted those words that's right on track.
Great.
So I want to understand. Those are really good words. I want to understand. And what those words bring to you are opportunities to understand. You see, hear the difference between I want to understand and I want the solution to my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I want to understand means I want to know, and you know, words don't teach. So when you want to understand something, then your business, the very business that matters so much to you, is giving you opportunity to understand. Because through it you can feel what's working, what's not working.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to begin by saying all of that is underway. When you say responsibility, we want to focus for just a little bit on what a feeling of responsibility feels like, because responsibility feels over here sort of on the not good feeling end of the emotional scale, while fun or fulfillment is on the other end. And so it's really interesting how the answer to your query or your question is you just have to find a way to stand in an expectant place rather than in a worried place, in a I'm evolving and this is fun place rather than a I'm responsible and I have a timeline place.
Mm-hmm.
It's about finding a way for you to chill. It's why we started talking about the grid. We've been talking about the grid from the beginning of our interaction in this way by talking about your point of attraction,
mm-hmm.
that you live in a vibrational universe that is attraction based, and you are at the center of what you are attracting. So if you are feeling responsible and worried about things not happening the way you want them to, then there is no action that will be inspired to you that will help you out. But when you understand that you're not responsible, you're a point of attraction. And the reason we say not responsible is because you're not responsible for everybody else's point of attraction. You're only responsible for your point of attraction. So if we said to you, all you got to do is find a way of feeling good, and everything that you want, because you've already put it into the vortex, would flow to you, what would be your response to that? If we said, all we have to do is figure out how to get you to chill consistently, so that when something goes wrong, you say, oh good, something to learn. Esther broke a whole shelf full of beautiful things one day, and Jerry said, oh good, more things to buy. And he meant it.
Yeah.
He meant it. He wasn't lamenting what was lost. He was only excited about a space to put more things, because it's fun to have them flowing in, you see.
Sure.
When we say to you, all you have to do, the only thing you have to do, the singular thing you have to do, is to recreate. Oh, recreate.
Play golf.
Yeah. When you play golf, do you feel guilty?
No.
When you play golf, do you think, oh, I should be doing other things?
No.
When you play golf, do you think,
Where's that ball? But yeah. However, that's still fun. You're outside.
is playing golf occasionally preparing your grid?
Sure it is.
Is playing golf all the time preparing your grid?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Well, because first of all, you don't want to do the same thing all the time, and because there are other things that are important to you also. That, while that is relaxing, that's not as layered, that's not as rich, that doesn't have the potential of being as rewarding. And we say that because we see everything that's in your vortex.
Mm-hmm.
So if some of that is helpful, but all of that would not be helpful, can you isolate or feel Just going to take a minute here. Identify, isolate, focus on the feeling of fun and clarity and vitality and exuberance that you feel when you're playing golf. Feel the freshness of the air, the vitality of your body, the camaraderie of those that you're playing with. Focus there on that good feeling. And would you call it satisfying?
Yes.
Would you call it a sort of eagerness?
Sure.
Interesting, satisfying. So can you find those feelings relative to this work project that you're describing? Are there potential components in that? Is it fun for a new idea to flow to you?
Yes, it is.
Is it fun to discover that you've got a skill that you didn't know you had, or to do better with that skill now? Were you a good golfer the day you started?
No.
And do you revel in the improvement that you see every time you play?
Yes.
And do you play to present yourself in identical ways, or are you eager for new mixes?
Just to have the fun.
New wind currents?
Yeah.
New slopes?
Opportunities for learning.
New opportunities? New co-creation with others? It's not the same old, same old. You're constantly flexing into improvement and taking satisfaction from all of that. And isn't it exactly the same way in your work environment? So don't you want an opportunity to stumble a bit? Don't you want to drive it off in the bushes again? Only to remember that's not what you intended and that you want to focus a little more clearly?
Take that second shot.
And don't you like knowing that every time you do it, it gets better, but you never get it done?
Right.
That you never get so good, no matter how good you get at it, no matter how many U.S. Opens you've won. They don't win every time, do they?
No.
It's quite a variety that goes on. They're really, really good, but it is not a sure thing. And that's what keeps it interesting, because it's not a sure thing. It's the expansion. And it's not the ball in the hole. That's just the reason you're out there. That's just the excuse you use to get clearer and sharper and stronger and more focused. That's just the excuse that you use, you see. So don't you feel more eager about your work now than you were?
I do, and I'm going to make sure I get some golf, into the schedule.
Well, we know
Not
that,
every day.
We know that we play every day. We know that we have ignited more interest in golf here than the other work. But we really want you to realize that
it's just,
the feeling of fun is focus without resistance. That's what fun is.
Yeah.
And so whether you call this fun that you're having, it's really fun to match wits with someone who is really good at it. It's really fun to have conversations that go into places that you've never been before and feel the expansion of that. It's really fun to get new insight about your very own business. It's really fun to have really good timing. It's really fun to be inspired from broader view, from non-physical perspective, who knows everything about what you want, everything about where you are, and everything about everything between where you are and where you want to be. Who's offering constant impulses, and it's really fun to tune into those impulses. And that really is what we're talking about here. Just finding more ways, more reasons to feel good, because in feeling good, you tune into the impulses. And when you tune into the impulses, then life is satisfying. And we want to say, we're going to say it all day. We're going to say it to everybody that listens. We're going to say it to everybody that sits here. We want it to be fun too, even when you've driven the ball off into the bushes. We want it to be fun when it's off in the rough. We want it to be fun when you're so far behind that there's no possibility of ever catching up, and that you're just going to look foolish in the way you've played today. We want that to be fun too. We want that to be fun too, because the game that you're playing in isn't a game that you're competing with anyone else. It isn't a game where anybody outside of you is taking score. It's only the game of how much alignment did I accomplish right now, and how much fun did I achieve in the alignment accomplishment. That's all that it is. And the manifestations, the realizations, the actualizations, that's just the stuff that is inevitable, but it's not the reason you play the game. It isn't the reason that you play the game. Good thing too, because those manifestations are a minuscule part of the life that you live. Percentage-wise, manifestation, that much. Everything else is what life is, you see. We liked that.
Me too.
Do you feel resolved? We didn't tell you one thing to do except chill out. Can you do it?
I think that's good.
And why do you think that we didn't find it necessary to guide you toward any specific action?
Because I probably already knew that.
Because you know all the things to do. You know everything to do. The only differences are the timing of when you do the things that you do. When you call somebody, be nice if they're there. And when they're there and you call them, be nice if they're up to speed with you so that they can hear what you say. And be really good to get impulses so that you rendezvous with those who are cooperative components so that you're not buttoned up against those that aren't cooperative components.
Very interesting.
But isn't it nice to butt up against some uncooperative components? Because it causes you to focus and it makes you go play golf.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you very much.
On the aisle, right here.